In this week's episode, Paul accidentally starts a fitness cult. It all started with a sunrise. Paul, hoodie over robe, laced up his bright blue Nikes, took one long stretch, and whispered, "Discipline the body, win the race." He didn't mean to wake up the whole apartment with his pre-dawn pep talk, but when he jogged down Fifth Avenue at 6 a.m. quoting scripture between lunges, it got attention. The kind of attention that sparks a movement. By day 3, 3 people had joined him. By day 7, there were 12, plus Barnabas, who just wanted to stretch the old joints. By day 10, someone brought custom embroidered robes with Team Temple across the back. Paul was thrilled. "This is it," he cried. "Body and spirit, training in tandem." By the second week, the morning runs became impossible to ignore. Peter showed up in construction boots. "I thought we were fighting Romans, not shin splints." John tried to stretch, but pulled a hamstring while adjusting his AirPods. Matthew brought a clipboard. "I'm just here for liability reasons." Even Thomas joined, only to question the logic. "If this is the narrow path, why are we doing burpees?" Paul led the charge, shouting verses like reps. Romans 12, verse 1. Present your bodies. 1 Corinthians 6, verse 19. Temple of the Spirit. Meanwhile, Jesus stood on the sidelines with a coconut water, cheering them on like a soccer mom with eternal patience. One morning, Bartholomew arrived with a bag of freshly pressed robes. These are breathable linen and moisture-wicking. Also, they match. The apostles wore them reluctantly, until Nathanael led a warm-up chant. Whose body? His temple. Whose body? His temple. Locals started stopping by to join. Some thought it was a boot camp. Others thought it was a spiritual cleanse. One guy just wanted free juice. Paul mistook their enthusiasm as divine calling. Jesus raised an eyebrow. "You sure this isn't CrossFit with extra forgiveness?" One evening, back at the apartment, the disciples held an intervention. Andrew spoke first. "Paul, we love you, but you turned communion into protein shakes." Thaddeus added, "And you gave Timothy a Fitbit and told him the goal was 7,000 holy steps." Paul blinked. "That was outreach." Peter crossed his arms. "Bro, you made us yell, 'One spirit, one body,' after every set. I almost ruptured my faith." Jesus walked in, sat down beside Paul, and handed him a towel. "This isn't a rebuke," he said. "It's a reminder. Your strength doesn't save." "I do." The energy shifted by the third week. Paul's morning sprints were no longer just discipline. They were a spectacle. A group of eager followers began filming his runs, overlaying Bible verses in bold white text, while hip-hop worship music played in the background. TikToks appeared under the hashtag Temple Challenge, and one even trended, Paul doing push-ups while quoting Philippians. Andrew was confused. "Why are there cameras?" he whispered to Thaddeus as they awkwardly stretched. "Is this still about Jesus?" John, trying to keep up with choreography for a holy hit reel, tripped over a foam roller. "I just wanted to read the Psalms today," he muttered. Even Matthew started taking notes, not for taxes this time, but for legal disclaimers. Paul, surrounded by cheers and hashtags, didn't notice how the tone had shifted. Where once there was quiet worship in motion, now there were slogans, merchandise, and an eerie chant of "Train the body, save the soul." Jesus watched it unfold from a bench by the path, gently shaking his head and sipping from a water bottle labeled "Living Water." In the end, Paul sat on a park bench, panting, surrounded by exhausted followers. Jesus sat beside him. "You ran a good race," Jesus said. "But leadership isn't about how many follow your pace. It's about whether your steps point to me." Paul nodded. "Maybe no more protein communion wafers?" Jesus laughed. "Let's just start with rest." And the moral of this story? Leadership isn't about hype. It's about humility. 1 Corinthians 9, verse 27. "But I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified." The next morning, Paul skipped the run. He watched from the rooftop as the apostles stretched awkwardly, unsure what to do without his shouting. He joined them quietly, no chants, no robe, no clipboard. He smiled. Let's just walk. As they strolled through the city, helping a woman carry groceries, praying for a man at the bus stop, and picking up trash on the sidewalk, Paul felt the Spirit move. Later that night, he journaled, "Today we walked, not for strength, not for show, but in step with Him. And that was the real race all along. And that's another day in the city, where the real flex is humility, and the only gains that matter are in grace." Catch you in the next episode of Jesus in the City every Saturday morning.